notice that everything in the digital world becomes faster. It took a lot of time usually for people to get to know new services and to accept actually new technology. In today's world, this isn't true anymore. We want everything now. It's also about not being stuck with old technology. I was in Los Angeles recently, and I will show you the top 10 trends for 10th graders, for people that are 15. Those people see Facebook as a boring thing that looks like an Excel sheet. It has columns and you have to put in words and stuff like that, and it's what the parents use. So the rule number one is live in the now. Don't look at old medium and say that's new. Look at what's happening now in order to create the future. Look at the new stuff. There's 2 or 3 core mistakes that brands can do. One is to have a static view of themselves and to actually think of themselves as delivering a certain product. That is not true. The brand delivers a service. What is it that Samsonite really, really does? In reality, the service of the brand, not the product encloses stuff, but the service of the brand is to transport stuff safely. If Samsonite were to invent stuff like Dropbox, all of a sudden people would go, oh, they're really the specialist in safety, and it's much, much better. So think about the true core of your brand and roll that out, especially in the digital range. And that service is not linked to anything physical. It is not linked to a physical product. It is linked to an emotion. Nowism is a very emotional thing. It's king of communications because it's emotional. So when people use Snapchat, it's all about just saying, I'm here, I care for my friends, and the content is less important. So think about the emotional content of simply being there rather than giving information. Information is always superficial, emotion is always really, really deep. You always have to think in the yin and the yang of things. So you always have to think, how much does it cost if I do it? How much does it cost if I don't do it? Could I do it? Could my competitor do it? They find the true opportunity that you're really gaining. I can absolutely understand that it's very important in today's world to have 70% safety, but don't have 100% safety, because then you're static and the world moves past you and all of a sudden you're behind everybody else. Kodak basically never thought about the service. In the most visual time ever, they did not invent YouTube, they did not invent Flickr, they did not invent Instagram, they did not invent Snapchat. None of those things they invented because they figured we have a physical product, 35mm celluloid film. In the case of Coke, we learned that 70% of the time they know what they are doing, but they use 10% of their budget to experiment and to go into a future. And to design a future means that you don't know if it's going to work or not. So this 10% is actually play money. It's high-risk money or exciting money, and that makes people talk about your brand, appreciate your brand, and love your brand. So what happened here? They just created Nowism. Everybody was wondering, is he going to jump? Is he not going to jump? It kept the top-of-mindness of Red Bull for a relatively long period of time. And you cannot not communicate. If you don't do anything, you show I'm not doing anything. The Super Bowl in the US, the lights went off, and then nobody expected that. But then certain brands like Audi, for instance, reacted immediately, and they tweeted, we're sending some LEDs to MB USA Superdome right now. Basically, the brand just said, I'm with you fans. I understand you. We are watching the Super Bowl also. The brand is where we are, and the brand connects with us. The value is purely emotional. They are reacting. They are one of us. I like that brand. Total connectivity is definitely an absolute part of our absolute life. There's no kid that finds it weird that on an iPad you can connect from a TV ad to buying the product or liking the product. It's absolutely natural. That's why it's such a successful device. If you look at any kind of development, you will notice that there's always development on one curve, and then we jump a curve, and then all of a sudden it's different. And I think the multi-channel level that we are at is still on the existing curve. Right now, you still see the device as something that you rationally have to approach. It is not yet completely linked to yourself emotionally. Connectivity is hardwired within us. Those silo solutions are basically second best, third best solutions because we could not connect. We could not make a device that connects everything. Now we reach connectivity. We will not think in any silos. There will be no more channels whatsoever. It will be just become a part of us. So that is actually the first step to the human-machine connectivity that will happen. The most important thing with content is that it is individualized content. 25% of the people who shopped at Walgreens, which is like Booth, used their app. But they got individualized, personalized offers on their phone. So Walgreens is doing that on a digital way, thinking further than you actually think, and give you additional services, and people like that. Online communication and branded communication has to be catered to an individual customer, and that is the future, and that is the only way it should be.